Hey guys, my name is Dalree, and thank you for joining me as we go beyond church. Today, I'll be speaking to you about celibacy. For those of you who don't know, I am celibate now, and in my previous video, I spoke about how I got to this point. So if you haven't watched it yet, after this video, you can go ahead and do that. Celibacy in a religious context is waiting until marriage to have sex to honor God with your body. Now, huge disclaimer, I am not here to bash or demonize sex. And I'm saying this because I myself have personally had to unlearn a whole lot of misconstrued ideologies and negative connotations about sex. I believe that the church has not done a really good job with portraying sex in an accurate manner in an attempt to discourage premarital sex. So, this is just me sharing my journey and how I got here and my decisions about celibacy. I believe that sex is a gift from God, purposefully designed to be enjoyed and explored within the boundaries of marriage. And it is literally one of the greatest expressions of oneness between a man and a wife. And it has been described as such in a bunch of books like Genesis, Mark, Corinthians, and even Ephesians. So, having said that, I have previously been in a good, loving, kind, and pure relationship. I believe that God was truly in the center of that relationship and he was the center of our love for one another. And it really was the best romantic relationship that I've ever been in. And I can only see that now that I have worked through my pain. I can't say one bad word about the person I was previously with because he truly is a really good man with a lot of authentic and solid love to give. He was my bestest friend and we had really good times together and I don't regret any of it. I wouldn't change anything or any moment for the world. Our relationship simply ended because we were at two very different places and had to find our way forward separately. I am mentioning this because it is important to note that sometimes we think that when God is calling us to correction, He's doing it because we're bad people or we're doing something bad or we're in a wrong situation or He's trying to punish us. And this is not the truth. God calls us to correction because He loves us. He wants to protect us and wants to call us deeper in Him. So even when you are in a good situation, it's sometimes hard to know when God is calling you to correction because we're not necessarily open to it or we don't spend enough time with God to hear Him calling us to correction. And it is not a bad thing. He can call you to anything. It can be something as simple as food or setting boundaries at work or social media or just friendships in your life or other particular relationships. God can call you to correction in many different areas of your life. When you spend time with God and you ask to get to know Him more and ask to get to know Him deeper, that gives Him permission to expose areas in your life where you can improve. And so for me personally, that area was celibacy and a lot of other areas, but for the sake of this video, we're referring to celibacy. I want to explain to you a few reasons why I decided to say yes to God and to wait. The first is I decided to wait because of my obedience and conviction. When God had called me to it, I knew that there was something strong inside of me telling me to say yes. The second is peace of mind. I had decided a long time ago that I did not want to have children out of wedlock, and so being celibate kind of makes sure that happens. And the third is that navigating through relationships. It is a little bit easier, not actually, it's a lot easier to be able to discern what someone's intentions are in a relationship when you remove sex off the table. And also, you get to know whether the connections you have are pure and whether they are lasting, whether you can spend your life with this person. And so, it's a really good value to me. The fourth reason is because of self-worth. I genuinely believe that I am worth waiting for. And so are you. And so is my partner one day. I believe that I should be waiting for him and he should be waiting for me. And lastly, is for the sake of my future marriage. I don't want the weight and the burden of numerous partners or previous relationships to enter into my marriage, or any underlying tension that could bring into my marriage, or even more so the insecurities that you get from previous relationships and bringing that into your marriage. So those are the reasons why I decided that this is really valuable for me, and I see why it is a good thing to do. Now, if you are considering being celibate, or you are celibate and you know the struggle, I'm about to give you a few reasons why you might fail and another few reasons why you will definitely succeed. So let's get right into it. A couple of reasons as to why you could possibly fail if you're trying to be celibate. First is your motivation behind it. If you're doing it to be rewarded by God, you'll certainly fail. Because once God does not reward you the way you were hoping He would, or if it takes too long, you will lose heart and eventually let it fall. And the second would be if you and your partner are not on agreement or don't have this equal amount of commitment towards it. Because when you are weak, your partner needs to be strong. And when your partner is weak, you need to be strong for your partner. And if that is not in line, you certainly will fail. The third reason that could make you fail is if you are on the fence about celibacy. The reason why this is important is to make up your mind is because when you are presented with the opportunity to have sex, your flesh will always win, because most of the time our flesh is way stronger than our spirit. And lastly, if you still partake in other sexual activities, like you're telling yourself, I'm not going to have sex, but I'll do other things, you'll ultimately fail because you'll start doing them little by little, and it will make you crave more and more and more. And then you fail. Now, reasons on how to succeed with your journey in celibacy. The first is making a commitment to God, but equally as important is making the commitment to yourself. Because in seasons when God feels distant, far away, or He doesn't really make life happen the way you want to, it's easy to feel like you need to give up on Him. But if you've made that commitment to yourself and you value it for what it is all by yourself, you're most likely to stick to it because you also do not want to disappoint yourself. Second would be to create boundaries and sticking to them. Boundaries like no sleepovers, no kissing in a particular way, not seeing each other naked, not sleeping in the same bed. These are imperative because when you get the opportunity to decide, because you've already made up your mind, there's really no deciding. And then the third would be praying and asking God to clear your mind and remove the desire of lust in your heart. This is so important, and we think that God won't do it for us. Like, no, there's no way God will do it. It's because we don't really want Him to. If you really want it and you ask God with a sincere heart, I promise you, He will honor that. And you won't struggle with trying to not have sexual thoughts or sexual desires, because God is kind enough to give you the power to do the things that He wants you to do. And then lastly, and just as important as the rest of them, is trusting God with your celibacy journey. Trusting and knowing that one day at the right time, He will present you with your partner who will one day fulfill all of your sexual needs and desires, and He will make sure that you enjoy your partner. God is kind like that. He gives us the things we ask for, and He gives it to us at the right time. And trusting that will ensure that you don't go looking for it. Knowing He will bring it to you when you are ready, and when the time is right, and when your partner is ready, He will make it happen. And that gives you ease, and it makes you excited about what God is going to present to you. I hope these points were helpful. I hope that you were blessed by this word and that you can really find value in it, and it can help you to either make up your mind if you wanted to be celibate, or that it will make the struggles a little bit easier for those of you who are celibate. Thank you for joining me once again. Please subscribe, like, comment down below, and share if this message has really blessed you, because that really blesses me. See you again next time.